And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 3 of the Best of 5 series. Everything tied up 1-1 for the time being. So we have at least 2 more games on the way with the potential for 3, which is something I would absolutely love to see. I enjoy big, long, full series. They make me happy. The third map here going to be Ohana LE. In the lower right-hand corner, we have Acer Nerchio spawning in once again as the red ZerG player. His opponent, the blue ZerG, that's FXO Lowely. Things went pretty well for him in that first game, not as well in the second one. A big, long macro game on Daybreak, which was pretty great to see. If you are going to see a macro ZVZ, frequently it is going to be on Daybreak, so we maybe should have seen that coming, but exciting regardless. But we have moved on to Ohana LE, which is an interesting map. We see a fair share of longish games on this map, and a few short ones as well. It's not uncommon for games to end on 2 base versus 2 base, and it's not uncommon for games to end on 3 or 4 base versus 3 or 4 base. So a very variable time, I feel, for ZVZ matchups. Now, even though things are tied up 1-1, I feel like Nerchio's mental state is going to be a little bit better than Lowely's, purely because of how the last 2 games did go. The game that Nerchio won was a long-fought macro game, no real gimmicky play, no shenanigans, no all-ins, just long, hardcore mechanics, macro, and decision-making, whereas the game Lowely won, it could be a little bit of a fluke. Nerchio just made one little mistake, was not prepared for the mass spawn of roaches and lings, and went down to it. So if Lowely thinks about it that way, he may be in a little bit of trouble. Absolutely, I feel Lowely does still have an ability to take this series. Really, either player can take it at this point. Again, I do give the slight favor to Nerchio, but I think it could go either way. Now, Nerchio has gone for a very fast ling timing right here. Actually, I apologize. I was too busy talking about mental games. I wasn't paying attention to when that pool came down, but he really has identified, you know what, Lowely, you're going hatch first every game. I'm going to punish that by going for a very aggressive pool. Now, he's not going entirely all in off of this. He already has started up a hatchery, but he's going to have a lot of lings arriving soon. He has 6 already, 2 more down here, and another 2 just popping out. So that's going to be a total of 10, and with a spawning pool not even close to finishing, I think this is going to be a dead natural hatchery, which is going to put Nerchio way in the lead. Lowely pulling off drones. He may save the hatchery, but at what cost? In fact, he is going to let it finish, so he's just going to try and kill these lings as much as he can, but he's going to lose a lot of drones in the meantime. Yes, he will be able to produce them at a faster rate than Nerchio, but will it really be enough? This hatchery getting incredibly low, in fact. It could possibly go down. 10 lings are about to pop for Lowely, so I don't think it's going to happen, but still, that's going to be a very bruised hatchery. It could possibly open up opportunities for timing attacks later in the game for Nerchio. Nerchio has been able to kill a lot of drones throughout all of this. Looks like he's just going to try and take a few more down before he does lose the rest of his lings. He's even going to go into the main base, going to kill some drones here, going to get some scouting information as well. See, okay, do you have any gases? No, you do not. How many drones do you have in here? What do I really need to be prepared for? And Lowely going to send a medium-sized ling force of his own down to the bottom of the map where Nerchio does call home. However, Nerchio does have a queen moving onto the low ground, so this isn't going to be completely undefended. He has 6 more lings on the way as well. If we take a look at the harvester count, we see Nerchio has 16 drones to 11 of Lowely, so he's doing very healthily right there. I do believe all the lings in Lowely's bases got cleaned up. Yes, they certainly did. And Nerchio does look as if he has enough units to be able to push this away, especially with that queen arriving. He does not have very much to fear, as there aren't enough drones here, or excuse me, lings here from Lowely to really pose too much of a threat. And with his hatchery going up not too far after Lowely's hatchery, and with that additional drone advantage he gained by killing all of Lowely's drones, Nerchio is in a pretty good position right now, I do feel like. He doesn't have the biggest drone lead, but it is still there. He actually does have 3 queens right now, so he will be able to double inject his hatcheries, whereas there's only going to be an inject for one of Lowely's hatcheries right now. Which, of course, is a big problem, because that translates into a lot more drones for Acer Nerchio, which translates into more of everything ever, because that's how economies work. So Lowely in some trouble right now. He is definitely in an uncomfortable position for the time being. A really good play there from Nerchio, identifying how Lowely enjoys playing this matchup, what he likes doing, and then figuring out what exactly he could do to really throw a wrench into the spokes of that's two phrases combined. I'm a silly guy, but wrench into the spokes of Lowely's plans right here. Now, Lowely, ooh, this is going to be bad. Lowely going for a fast baneling nest, another spine crawler, expecting Acer Nerchio to go for a lot of Ling pressure, try to finish what he started very, very quickly. However, Nerchio playing things a little bit more patiently. Yes, he does have the spotting pool, researching that speed upgrade. I have to wonder if he actually... Okay, no, that wasn't scouted by Lowely. But regardless, Nerchio actually going for a Roach Warren right here, which, of course, Baneling's not going to be very good against. And with 8 roaches on the way, I feel like Lowely is in danger of just losing this game. Got out-mind gamed at the very, very start. Ended up making a tech building that shouldn't help him very much. Yes, Lings will be part of Acer Nerchio's timing attack here. But they aren't going to be the main meat. He's going to attack with roaches and then just reinforce with the Lings. So they really... The Banelings just aren't going to be too terribly useful against this. Lowely does have a Roach Warren on the way, but it's going to be too little too late. And now we see Acer Nerchio pushing out across the map. He has 10 roaches and 24 Lings about to pop. Meanwhile, Lowely has a mere 5 Lings, 1 Baneling, and then 2 Queens that, of course, he'll be able to use for defense in a pinch. He does have the Spine Crawler, which is going to help, but... I really don't see any way Lowely is able to survive this. Here come the roaches. They start taking a shot at the Roach Warren. They're going to start moving over to the Spine Crawler. 2 more Spine Crawlers are on the way for Lowely. He's trying to buy time for them to get up. I just don't think he has enough things, though, to allow for that Baneling spawning for Lowely. Gets some nice Baneling detonations. Kills almost all of the Lings that were there at the moment, but more and more Lings just reinforcing this attack from Nerchio. Lowely losing 1 Spine Crawler, the second one's going to go down. Drones getting pulled to the main base. Now they're going to try and defend their homeland as greatly as they can. And while they may take down some of these roaches, the roaches have served their purpose. They've taken down the very difficult to kill units that Lowely did have. So now he just needs Lings. However, Lowely is able to actually produce a large number of roaches. He did have some money banked up just for this purpose, so he is going to survive for the time being. However, if we take a look at the economy tab, we're going to see Nerchio does have about a 10 drone advantage, which is a big deal. I really don't think Lowely is going to be able to do anything against Nerchio right here. However, Lowely is pushing out with a lot of roaches, and okay, Nerchio did produce some more roaches. I was just seeing drones for a while. It's like, Nerchio, you can't do this. This is how you lost game number 1. You get an advantage, and then you just over-drone and you die. However, this time he's not over-droning. He is building those roaches that he needs. He has a third base on the way. He's almost baiting Lowely in right now with his roaches. And then Nerchio will be able to come from behind, lock Lowely in, and destroy the remainder of his army. And that's exactly what is happening. Great surface area on these Lings. The roaches able to clean up Lowely's force. And he's trying to micro away even the transfuse coming out here from Nerchio. And just look at that supply count difference. 92 for Nerchio, 50 for Lowely. Nerchio not far away from doubling Lowely's supply. He's down a hatchery. He's down how many drones? He's down 7 drones. And in fact, Nerchio just going for the kill right here. He knows Lowely is trying to deal some damage, but he doesn't care. It's just 3 roaches. He's going to be able to clean that up with 2 queens and a roach of his own. And with the Spine Crawler out of position, not able to defend the main base of Lowely, Nerchio should just win with this final attack of roaches, all spread out in a line, making sure they do not lose each other. There is the GG from FXO Lowely, and Nerchio is now 1 game away from winning this best of 5 series. He stands at a 2-1 advantage.